Hi there. Today we're going to discuss simple interest, objectives and standards. Today we're going to learn how to use the simple interest formula to find interest earned on savings account and to find interest owned on loans and credit cards. The vocabulary you're going to need to know for today is principal and simple interest. Simple interest is the amount of money paid or earned for the use of money. To find simple interest I, use the formula I equals PRT. Principal, P, is the amount of money deposited or invested. Rate, R, is the annual interest rate written as a decimal. Time, T, is the amount of time the money is invested in years. Here's the simple interest formula again. If you have a savings account, the bank pays you interest for the use of your money. So you can use that formula, I equals PRT, to find the amount of interest that you're going to get or you're going to earn. Again, here's a simple interest formula. I is the amount of interest, whether it's earned or you have to pay. P is the principal amount. Rate, you have to make sure that you put it as a decimal because it's going to be given as a percentage. And the time, you have to remember to put in years. Sometimes they're going to give you months, and whenever you get months, all you have to do is divide it by 12 because there's 12 months in a year. Arnold puts $580 into a savings account. The account pays 3% simple interest. How much interest will he earn in each amount of time? So they're going to ask you, how much will he earn in 5 years? So first thing we're going to do is we're going to write down our formula. Our formula is I equals PRT. Okay, so next thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to substitute. So I equals our principal amount, which is $580. Our rate is 3%. And remember, we have to turn it into a decimal. So on the side here, I'm going to write 3%. And 3% means out of 100. So that means 3 divided by 100, and that's 0.03. So 580 times 0.03. And our time is going to be 5 years. So now what we're going to do is we're going to multiply those three numbers, and we get that our interest is going to be $87. So altogether, Arnold will earn $87 in 5 years. Example 2, Arnold puts $580 into a savings account. The account he pays is 3% simple interest. How much interest will he earn in each amount of time? So you're going to start off with your formula. I equals P times R times T. Then we're going to identify our parts. So our interest is going to equal our principal amount, which is 580. Our rate again is 3%, and as last time, 3% means 3 divided by 100, so that's 0.03. And then our time is 6 months. Remember, we have to put it in years. So 6 months means 6 out of 12 months out of the year. This actually equals 0.5. So we're going to multiply it times 0.5. So now, when we multiply all these numbers together, we should get 8.7. So, how much interest will he earn? Arnold will earn $8.70 in 6 months. Okay, so interest on loans and credit cards. If you borrow money from the bank, you have to pay the bank interest for the use of their money. You can also pay interest to a credit card company if you have an unpaid balance. So the same thing here, you're going to use the formula I equals PRT to find the amount of interest that you have to pay the bank or the credit cards. So example 3 is about Rondell. They borrowed $6,300 from the bank for a new car. The interest rate is 6% each year. How much simple interest on the credit card company um, will they have to pay for the 2 years to repay the loan? I'm sorry, for the bank. Okay, so again, we're going to start off with our simple interest formula. I equals P times R times T. Your principal amount, how much did they borrow? They borrowed $6,300. Okay, what is their rate? 6%. So on the side here, 6% means 6 out of 100 or 6 divided by 100. So that's 0.06. And then how many years does it take them? It takes them 2 years. Okay, so all you're going to do now is you are going to multiply these numbers and you get 756. So here they have $756 in interest, and that's in the 2 years. All right, so on top of the $6,300 that they have to pay, they also have to pay an additional $756 in 2 years. All right. Sometimes they're going to ask you a question that's going to be like, how much do they pay in total? So that means when you're borrowing money, you still have to pay back what you owed, but you also have to pay back your interest. So in this example, if they want to talk about how much in total that you will have to pay back, that will have to be your $6,300 plus your 756, and that means 7,056 in total. So that means that if they have to pay back their money in 2 years, you're going to have to give back all that money. Okay, so here's my next example. Derek's dad bought new tires for $900 using a credit card. His credit card has an interest rate of 19%. If he has no other charges on his card and does not make a payment, how much money will he owe after 1 month? So here they want to know the total amount of money that he's going to have to give back after 1 month. So first we're going to find the interest rate or the interest that he has, and then we're going to add it to the $900. So we're going to start off with our simple interest formula, I equals P times R times T. We're going to start substituting our values. So we have $900 as our principal rate, our principal amount. Our rate is 19%. So we have 19% means 19 out of 100 or 0.19. And then our time is 1 month. So the question is, how much in years is 1 month? Well, remember, if they give you months, you have to divide it by 12. So 1 month is actually 1 out of 12. So we're going to multiply these numbers out. So 900 times 0.19 times 1/12, that equals 14.25. So that means on top of the $900, he has to pay $14.25 in interest. So if you want to find the total amount, you know you have to add the principal plus the interest. Your principal was $900. Your interest was $14.25. So that equals $914.25. So altogether, he's going to owe $914.25. Okay, now this is another example where you're going to kind of be working backwards. Lewis is taking out a car loan for $5,000. He plans on paying off the car loan in 2 years. At the end of 2 years, Lewis will have paid $300 in interest. So what is the simple interest on the car loan? So here, they're giving you the principal amount. They're giving you the time. They're also giving you the interest, which they don't normally do. So now you have to find a different missing part. You have to find um, the rate. So you're going to start off with your formula. I equals P times R times T. So all you're going to do now is you're going to substitute whatever you know. You know that the interest is $300. You know that the principal amount was $5,000. You don't know what the rate is. And you know that the time is 2 years. So here you're just going to solve what you know. You know on the left side it's still 300. And then 5,000 times 2 is 10,000 times r. So here we have our variable r being multiplied by 10,000. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the opposite operation, and we're just going to divide by 10,000 on both sides. Okay? These 10,000s simplify out. So I'm left with r equaling 0.03. So this is your interest rate. So what you're going to do is you are going to convert this interest rate decimal into a percent. And when you go from percents to decimal, you just multiply by 100. So 0.03 is 3% is your rate. So the rate at which he has to pay the car loan is 3% rate. I'm just going to do one more example. Um, Callie borrowed $4,500 from the bank to repay part of her college tuition. She will repay the loan by paying $120 a month for the next 4 years. What is the simple interest rate on the loan? So we're going to start off with writing down the formula I equals PRT. We're going to substitute what we know. So we know that our interest was $120, and then they know that the principal amount was 4,500. We don't know the rate, but we do know that she's spending it over 4 years. So I'm going to multiply what I can. So 4,500 times 4 is 18,000 times R equals 120. Now our letter R, our variable R, is being multiplied by 18,000. So I'm going to divide by 18,000 on both sides, and I get 0.006 repeating. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to take it, I'm going to multiply it times 100 to convert your decimal to a percent, and you get about 0.7% interest rate. Today we solved problems involving simple interest. I hope that video was helpful. Thank you. Bye.